So I'm here with Mike Kane today, and Mike, we're going to talk about the idea of personal trainers and getting personal training certifications, and then going to work in what I sometimes call big fitness. Big fitness being the big gyms that you see in most neighborhoods. And Mike has an interesting story to tell. On how he got certified and went to a gym and what they were paying him. So Mike, just basically tell your story so people can understand what's going on.
Okay, I was attending the gym, and I've been for a few years now. And one day, the owner came up to me, and he liked the way I was working out, and he just said, "Do I know anything about personal training and blah blah blah, and how am I staying in such good shape?" And he liked it, so I said, "Yeah." And I explained to him I had a certification from mid 2000s, but I let it lapse because I was doing personal training and not dealing with the gym or anything. So I just didn't, at the time, didn't think I needed the recertification until, as I said, recently he approached me about it. I said, yeah, went and got my certification, only to find out through one of the interviews that they only paid $8 per client, which kind of shocked me.
And $8 per client and no hourly wage? Are you making
No
anything?
hour, nothing, $8 per client, period.
$8 a client. So that's less than the minimum wage. And
Yeah,
I thought your story was worthy to talk about because in America, there are a lot of fitness organizations, and, not naming names, but some of them are $1,000, if not more. Okay, to obtain a personal training certification, you get your personal training certification, you spend your $1,000, $800, $1,200, whatever, and then you go to work in a gym and you're making $8 an hour. And
half hour, half hour per client, whatever. It's not
a half
even
an hour.
that.
Okay, so a half an hour, and
Half
so
hour
that
to 45 minutes, they had said. So, we haven't looked at it.
so you're making not a lot of money, basically. And
No.
the thing that I've been talking about for years is, why are people spending all this money on really, really expensive personal training certifications when you're going to go to work in a gym that's going to pay you usually less than minimum wage? And I often tell people, do not go into debt to become a personal trainer. What they don't understand is their clients do not know the difference between one organization and another, and they don't care who you're certified by. The only people who care who you're certified by are gym managers, because for whatever reason, they're looking for certain names in organizations. They hear it repeated over and over again. But that's it. And other personal trainers will ask you who you're certified by, and they don't care. They don't matter anyway. Your clients don't know the difference between ACE, NASM, NSCA, IFFA, ISP, ISTA. They don't know the difference between any of them. The only thing people care about is, can you help them? Are you knowledgeable in whatever condition they are? And are you professional? That's the big thing they care about. They don't care about who you're certified in. And if you are self-employed, your clients will probably never ask you who you're certified by, and the general public doesn't know the difference between ACE and AFA and NSCA, et cetera. They don't know the difference between any of these organizations. So if you're self-employed, it doesn't really matter. What I normally recommend for people is, go and get certified. I want you to become a certified personal trainer. Go and take the test, take the class, study the books. That's great. Do that. But then after you get your certification, continue to learn after that. Do not just rely on a certification. Certifications by themselves only tell that you know the minimum amount of knowledge to work with people as a personal fitness trainer. You got to know more than a minimum. Certification is going to get the door open for you, but you got to know more than that. So again, for the people who are thinking about going into credit card debt on some of these organizations, I recommend not doing it. Think about how long is it going to take you to pay off that credit card from that fitness certification when you're making like $8 a half an hour on a personal training client. So what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I agree totally. And obviously, I appreciate your experience and knowledge, and I learned a lot. And I'm still learning from you.
And that's really the big thing. I mean, everybody's got to learn. I still learn. I mean, I'm still reading books and all that stuff. And I read magazine articles. I'm always on the computer trying to learn new stuff, because that's what it's really all about. And for the people out there who are, maybe they're certified by AFA, it's another organization, or AAAI or ACE, whatever. Go and get, if you really want the knowledge, go and get the books of the other organizations and buy them. You can get those books online for a lot less. And if you got the knowledge of that organization, you don't have to spend $1,000 on that certification. Again, remember, the average person does not know the difference between one personal training certification organization and another. And that's why it doesn't really matter. I don't recommend you go into credit card debt. So, and for you, Mike, did you actually take the job at the gym or not?
No, no, I have to get back to a matter of fact, my jaw is still basically dropped because I can't believe it was that little.
A lot of
And
many personal trainers are blindsided when they realize
yeah,
how little they're making, unless you're going to be working hour after hour after hour in a gym.
sure, sure.
And I have seen that. I actually just saw an online critique of a gym. I won't name them, but somebody had said that they saw a personal trainer sleeping in the gym. I've seen that as well. I have worked in gyms. I do remember one person who slept in a broom closet. Again,
I've seen them. I've seen them on the phone while they're training. I'm thinking that's not right either.
I've seen that as well. And some gyms actually mandate trainers don't bring their cell phones to the gym for that reason.
I would think so. Wow.
So, but again, it's something I think the fitness organizations, well, the gyms need to deal with. They need to stop mandating that their trainers get a $2,000 or $1,000 fitness certification when they're only going to pay them, a few bucks a half an hour, a few bucks an hour, and sometimes not even an hourly rate. So again, that's something the gym industry needs to step up and deal with, because they're really putting a burden on their employees. Maybe they're not aware of this. I don't know, but I think the people who want to become personal trainers, they need to hear messages like this, and that's why I wanted to bring it to attention. So, Mike, I really want to thank you for your time. Do you have anything you want to say to everybody else right now?
Yeah, basically from you, a question to you. You've been obviously know the business very well. What do you see out there? I mean, what's going on? What are they paying? What do they expect from a trainer?
Yeah, so they always, when you go to work at a gym, they're the manager, whoever is hiring you, they're going to have different ways of paying people. Sometimes, as you kind of intimated, they were paying $8 per half an hour. And so they'll say, well, you can make up to $16 an hour, but that's predicated on you doing 2 personal training sessions an hour. Okay, so think about that. That's 2, that's 4, that's 6.
An 8-hour day. If you have 16 people, you're going to make 120, 130 bucks if you're lucky, before taxes, of course.
Exactly, they're taking taxes out of that. So,
and I don't know many who have 16 clients in a day. So.
Correct, and that for all the personal trainers who are watching us right now, and people who want to be personal trainers who maybe are going into a job interview, that's the question to ask during the job interview. What's the average number of clients your personal trainers are have per day? What's the average number? Because that could give you an idea of the minimum amount of clients you might have, and then you can do the math and figure out how much money you might be making per day based on the average number. That's something to look into. But again, in the gyms, they'll word it so you're making more money than you might be making, because they'll say, well, if you have a CPR certification and a nationally accredited certification, which don't even get me started on the national accreditation thing, you can make this much. If you attend seminars, they may pay you extra depending on how much you maintain your education. They'll also, and this is the real thing that many gyms will do, they'll give you bonuses or an increase of the cut based on how many clients you have. So the harder you work, the greater the percentage of the personal trainer cut you make. So generally, sometimes the gym may take 50% of what you're making. And so if you make X amount of clients, maybe they'll give you, say, a bigger cut of that. They'll take less. So you may make 60%, they may make 40% or something like that.
Yeah, depending on how they want to spin it. Sure, they have their own ways of doing it.
Yeah, so the harder you work, the more money you make. And that's great. But again, you got to do the math. Unless you're willing to sometimes work there, from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., are you really going to be making that, $80,000 a year or something like that? In a gym situation, I think it's unlikely for many people. I think for the personal trainers and want-to-be personal trainers out there, I think the real money is go in business for yourself. And that's normally what I recommend. Go in business for yourself, and also find a niche. Don't try to be all things to all people. Don't try to work with the hockey players and the pregnant women and the people who are 95 years old. Specialize in a niche and then try to become an expert on those areas. I've got those areas that I specialize in, older adult fitness and special populations and dietary supplements and rhabdomyolysis. Those are some of the areas that I focus a lot on. But you wouldn't come to me if you want to be a better football player. That's not something that I specialize in. So think about that for all the people who are thinking about being personal trainers. Specialize, and again, maybe eventually consider going in business for yourself. Do work in a gym. I do think you can learn some stuff working in a gym, but eventually maybe consider starting your own business. So,
And I believe I learned from you in one of your classes about the average person being a female and around 40. That was very interesting to
and
understand.
that's another thing. A lot of personal trainers are not aware of who's going to hire them. It is a woman over 40 who's a beginner. Those individuals hire trainers the vast majority of time. So if your niche is in women's fitness and women over 40, especially in those who are beginners, well, then it's a better chance that those people would flock to you than somebody who's a I don't know, a bodybuilder, for instance, or
Yeah,
something
and
like
that's
that.
just a good
So
fact to have in your head. I have it in mine, and
yeah,
I'm sure it plays both ways. You know, you think about that, it
yeah.
in some way or form may apply to men as well, but just in general, a 40-year-old, somebody who's, been working a while and get a little out of shape, especially during this pandemic thing, and they want to get back into shape or strengthen up, but mainly just get to where, ROM, range of motion, ADL, and activities of daily living,
Yeah, right.
just need to function well.
Yeah. Sometimes the simple answer is the correct answer, and you don't have to beat people up in the gym.
Right.
As I saw something just the other day in the gym, which I had to get off the treadmill and walk away. It was just ridiculous. But
Well, again, the rhabdomyolysis you're talking about,
yeah, a lot of trainers aren't even aware of
that's
that.
especially if they're starting back in there gung ho and here we go, I want to start with 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I'd encourage people to either go to my website, look at my articles on rhabdo, or go on Amazon, get my book on rhabdo. I'll teach you everything you need to know. But Mike, I appreciate you coming on today and talking about this. I think our words are going to hopefully help a lot of people. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I thank you again, Joe, and
All right,
I appreciate it.
Mike, I appreciate your help, and thanks.
Thank you. Anything else I can do, please let me know.
I will. Thank you.